everyone, so today I will be doing a book tag. I will be doing the spring cleaning book tag, and it's been quite a while since I did a tag, so I'm quite excited to get to doing one. I was tagged very kindly by Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing, and I will leave a link to her channel along with the creator of this tag down in the description. I got a pair of my old glasses fixed today and I refuse to take them off my face. I'm sorry for the glare. So the first question is the struggle to get started a book or book series that you haven't been able to start because of its size. A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin. We have owned these for quite a while now. I luckily didn't have to spend very much money on them because a couple of them I got secondhand and most of them I got in book swaps. But they are very big and they've been sat on my shelf for quite a while and I should probably get going. Do want to at least read the first book, maybe the first couple, by the end of the year. Next is Cleaning Out the Closet, a book or book series you would like to unhaul. And for this I have chosen L.M. Elliott's Da Vinci's Tiger. I read this during the Genreathon and I got it in the December Owl Crate, I think it was. Didn't like this book. Wasn't very good. Probably the worst book I've read all year, actually. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this. I went into this book thinking there would be so much to do with what it is like to be a muse, but it wasn't that, it was just rubbish. Next is Opening the Windows and Letting the Fresh Air In, a book that you found refreshing. And for this, I picked Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I was really in a slump with YA books when I picked this up. I'd read a couple that were kind of straying to Manic Pixie Dream Girl, insta-love kind of thing. There were just so many refreshing things about this book. It was a believable teenage romance. Eleanor is a girl who is known to be a little bit chubby, but that wasn't the focus of the book. And while Park, being an Asian character, did have some kind of influence on the plot, it wasn't his defining characteristic either. I just thought the representation in this book was done so well. I thought the love story was done so well, and just one of the best YA books I've read, I think. Washing Out Sheet Stains, a book which you wish you could rewrite a certain scene in. And I'm gonna go for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. I would rewrite the epilogue. I really would. I know everyone would do something different with the epilogue because we're all interested in different characters and all have kind of our own headcanons about what we would like to happen to the characters. I didn't enjoy the epilogue and I thought J.K. Rowling missed out on some real chances to include representation and diverse representation in the series. Or, you know, I could just rewrite the scene where Fred Weasley dies and make that not happen. Throwing Out Unnecessary Knick-knacks, a book in a series that you didn't think was necessary. I'm gonna go for book the 7th, The Vile Village, in the A Series of Unfortunate Events series by Lemony Snicket. I have been rereading these books for quite a few months now. I've taken a little break because I don't actually own the 8th book in the series. I'm sure we're all very familiar with the tale of the Baudelaire orphans. What I've noticed on rereading is how similar the plots are in each and every book in the series, which I actually don't have that much of a problem with. I just feel like it was at its weakest in The Vile Village. I found it the most predictable so far. For me, this book just doesn't have that kind of unique thing that the other books have so far that drew me into it. I don't know, I kind of just feel like this is by far the most dispensable book in the entire series thus far. Next is Polishing the Doorknobs, a book that you thought had a clean finish. And I'm actually going to say Middlemarch by George Eliot. I know a lot of people aren't a massive fan of how this ends. It kind of ends with an epilogue and kind of a like, okay, we're done with the I just spilled my tea everywhere. This kind of ends with a, okay, we're done with these characters now. This is what happens to them afterwards. But I really enjoyed that and I think it worked really, really well in Middlemarch. I thought all of the loose ends were kind of tied up, and in such a kind of short ending it gave me so much to think about. I understand a lot of people being unhappy with this ending for multiple reasons, but I found it really quite satisfying. Next question is Reaching to Dust the Fan, a book that you thought tried too hard to relay a certain message. And for this I'm going to say What We Left Behind by Robin Talley. This is a YA book about two characters who go off to college or university. They have been in what is kind of considered a lesbian relationship in their high school years, and this is about one of them starting to realise that their gender identity is very complicated. They think they might be trans, they might be gender fluid, they might be gender neutral, and the other person in that relationship trying to work out who they are outside of that relationship. And that premise totally appealed to me, and I'm definitely all for that kind of representation in books. And I think it did something really well in that it presented gender as something that is kind of fluid. But I think there was so much focus on relaying that message that it made other things fall by the wayside. Like, I don't think the portrayal of lesbians or gay men was particularly strong or good or helpful. I had very mixed feelings on that book, and I think it suffered in that it was trying so hard to do one thing that it did other things badly. Next is the tiring yet satisfying feeling of finishing the spring clean, a book series that was tiring but satisfying to get through. I am really bad at finishing series or even starting series, so my choices were limited. But I'm actually going to say the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. While this is quite a short series of books and it is quite easy reading, I read it in like a couple of days. I think what it was that we were going to borrow a DVD of Mockingjay Part 1, but I wanted to read all the books before I watched that. So I had like 2 days to get through the series, which I did manage to do. I was very, very tired by the time I did it, but I was so glad that I did. And finally, looking forward to next spring. Tag 4 people who you would like to do this tag next. I am going to tag 4 of my favourite booktube channels at the minute. So I'm going to tag Joss from Scribbles Reads, Lauren from Lauren in the Books, Jacob Tanner, and I'm going to tag Amanda Center, who, her videos are just so brilliant at the minute. I mean, they're brilliant all the time, but just at the minute, they're so on point. I am like leaving her videos with so much to think about, and what more can I ask? And obviously, if you do feel like just doing this tag anyway, please do. I will leave all of the questions down in the description. Spring is kind of over, but it's still a pretty fun tag.